Good morning. What's going on? Victor Adatiba with our very first episode of our Tech Mindset Mondays episode. This is something that I've been contemplating on, working on for a while now, and just hadn't been able to get the time together to do it. But today is March 8th. I'm sorry, today is March 9th. 2023, and you'll see wearing my 40 resort hat in celebration of my 40th birthday, which was yesterday, March 8th. And, I started a few new habits within the last couple of weeks that I'm trying to keep up, and I want to try to find a way to add this Mindset Mondays morning motivation into the mix. And so, the reason I wanted to do this was because sometimes as folks are going through the program, they need a little bit of motivation. They need something to kind of continue to push them along on that journey. And so I wanted to kind of give them a soundtrack that they could listen to throughout the week or in the mornings, or even if it's just on Monday morning and you hit repeat every morning to just kind of get you through the day. I wanted to give folks a soundtrack for that. So this is it, and I look forward to continuing this, hopefully at least for the rest of the year. And if we get a good response, then we'll keep it going. So talk about habits, right? So one of the new habits I started was um, changing my morning routine. I'm not usually a morning person, and so anybody who knows me knows that I am not a morning person. I generally don't get up in the mornings. Traditionally, throughout my life, I've been an evening person. So, um, you know, I come alive at 10, 11, 12, and it's not uncommon for me to work through the evening into the early morning, so 2, 3, 4 a.m. sometimes. Um, and so as a result of that, my days don't normally start as early as most people's days. It's not uncommon, or it wasn't uncommon for me to wake up at 10, 11, 12 a.m. and get my day started. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in my household. I got, kids going to school early, kids waking up early. And so I wanted to kind of make a change in my life to kind of embrace fatherhood, if you will, although I'm a little bit late, right? My oldest is just turned 7, but I really wanted to embrace fatherhood and come up with a way to do that. And so this is also something that I've been procrastinating on. I've been wanting to change my schedule and sleep habits for the last um, at least 4 to 5 years, and just haven't been able to um, buckle down and make that commitment to actually do it. So started by writing out a daily schedule of all the things that I wanted to accomplish. And working out in the morning has always been something that I wanted to start doing, but I haven't worked out consistently since I was in high school. So this is probably 2099, 98 maybe, when I was on a soccer team. So, I'd have, practice 2 or 3 times a week for 1 to 2 hours. I was, a really good runner, fast runner, consistent runner, consistently one of the fastest people on my soccer team. So, it's another habit that I wanted to kind of add into the mix. And so when I was as I'm writing out my schedule, now I wake up around 6 a.m., start the day with some prayer, some meditation, run, and then we start running by 6:15. I run for roughly about 30 minutes, and again, right, it's just been a week and a half that I've been doing this, but run for about 30 minutes. Normally I can get somewhere between, well, maybe it's not a run, right? So run, walk, jog, kind of mix those three in there together. Normally I get in about a mile to 2 miles, somewhere in between that. Come home, take a shower, uh, eat a protein shake or drink a protein shake, take my daughter to school, come home, eat breakfast, and then kind of get started with my day, do some reading and a few other things. And so I kind of go through that to say, many a few years ago, maybe 10, 12, maybe 13 years ago, I wrote a book, 5 things you need to know before starting a business. And one of the first things I said in the book was the hardest part is getting started. And that's still the same thing today, right? That still remains true today. The hardest step is always going to be the first step in a new habit or in creating a new routine. And so, truly, the hardest step for me was starting this new regimen, this new uh, self improvement regimen of waking up early, waking up consistently, working out consistently. But, a week and a half into this, it hasn't been that bad, right? The hardest day was that first day. Same thing with this. I've wanted to do this Manta Tech Mindset Mondays since December of last year, but a lot of moving pieces, moving into a new house and, a lot of other things going on. So I hadn't been able to do it or find the time to do it. But I see I've got a gap in my mornings when I wake up. So I think this is the perfect time for me to start doing this. And again, this is all about getting your mindset right for the week so that you can press on and have that consistency that you need. And so I'm going to encourage everybody who's listening to this or who's watching this, like, get started. There are going to be a lot of things in your head, a lot of limiting beliefs that you probably have and have carried throughout your life and that haunt you and that weigh you down. But I can guarantee you that once you get started on this journey, once you get started on this path, once you take the first step, the next steps are going to come a little bit easier each day. And before you know it, you're going to look up and you will be a new person. You will be a newer, better version of yourself. I don't think a lot of us understand what we could achieve, what we could accomplish if we just did the thing that we were scared of doing, if we just did the thing that we were intimidated from doing. One thing you got to remember is you're not going to be great at anything the first time you do it, right? If we look at our children, the first time they walk, terrible, falling, stumbling, tripping, right? As they take more steps, they get better at walking. And so don't be scared to take that first step, because if you don't, then you'll never get to the point where you're sure-footed and you're able to run and you're able to move with agility and you're able to, walk even without thinking once you get to an older age, right? And so there are so many of us that are just stuck in that same place, afraid to take that first step. And that first step is the gateway to your breakthrough. And so we're really holding ourselves back and doing ourselves a disservice to making that breakthrough that we really can't imagine. And so I keep saying we because I'm sure this isn't something that just affects you who's listening to this, but this is something that affects me as well, right? I know a lot of people look at me and say, oh my gosh, you started so many businesses, you've done so many things, you've pivoted so many times in life, and you've seen success in so many different areas. It's so amazing, but this is something that I still struggle with, right? Oftentimes, we want to be perfect before we make that first step, right? We get caught up in analysis paralysis, where we spend so much time analyzing the solution and thinking about the what ifs and the what could happens that we never actually make that first step. So I'm here to slap you out of analysis paralysis and encourage you to make that first step and do what you need to do to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because one thing's for sure, time waits for no one. And so the time and opportunity that you are missing out on by not making that first step, again, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you never know how many open doors you will have missed because you weren't ready for the opportunity when they arrive. They say luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? Well, what happens when opportunity arrives and you haven't prepared yourself, right? It's a missed opportunity. That's a closed door. And I'd hate for you guys to feel the pain and the anguish of knowing that you could have done something had you been prepared, but you weren't willing to put in the work back then. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right now. I didn't want these episodes to be too terribly long, but appreciate you guys for joining us. That's a wrap for episode 1 of Master Tech Mindset Mondays. Y'all have a wonderful day. Go out and kill this week. Don't let this week kill you. Peace.